There's so many things I hate her for because she was not a true mom to me, and by then she was married to someone else. Yeah, and there was a lot of incident and things that happened in my life back then that I blame her for. In some ways, she was meant to protect me, even with that family, but she never did that.
My daughters sit on my lap for cuddles.
Sorry.
And they will fight over holding my hand. But now it's got to the stage, because my daughters are adult, I'm like, I think people think we're a lesbian couple. I am Kim.
I'm Busi, and I'm Kim's daughter.
I have roots in South Africa. My mum is South African. But I did grow up in England and the Netherlands before coming to South Africa in 1996.
I was born in Khayelitsha and stayed there till 2005. I've never lived with my mom. I do not have a memory of me living with my mom as in like in a proper house, proper relationship. It was just one incident in my life. Then I was moved away from the family. I got to stay with my uncle. So that is the life I remember, living with my uncle and his wife. And traumatically, because I was the older child, and all the cousins they'll go out, go to Joburg, do their lives, come back home with kids, pregnant or whatsoever. And my life back then, I was taught to cook at an early age, 7, I think. And I would have to wash up baby nappies.
You were the Cinderella.
Yes, I was the Cinderella of the family. And 2005, actually, my mom came and said, no, I want to stay with Busi. And for me, this was like, oh, I have a mom. Because firstly, I was told that I didn't have a mother. She didn't wanted me. So in my thought, I was like, oh, okay, I didn't have a mother. And now I was shocked. Oh, okay, someone loves me, which I believed. She loved me in her own way. So I moved to Hout Bay, 2005. And yeah, my life with her, there's so many things I hate her for because she was not a true mom to me. And by then she was married to someone else. Yeah, and there was a lot of incident and things that happened in my life back then that I blame her for. And yeah, I mean, sometimes when I think of those things, because I'm a person that holds on to grudge, and in some ways she was meant to protect me even with that family, but she never did that. So sometimes when I do have thoughts about her, it sort of like gives me a reason why I do have that hate, but still at the same time I care about her. Yeah.
When she shared with me the reality of her childhood, this ferociousness welled up in me, where I went upstairs and I shared with Alan, not great detail, enough to know that I wanted to protect this child forever. I didn't know, however, if she felt that way. I felt that way. That I would go to the end of the world to make sure that not a day ever goes past when she feels abandoned, overlooked, unloved. I could feel a lot of emotions. My truth is, everybody else lost out and we gained. From the day I set foot in South Africa, I started understanding the differences between South Africa and Europe. And so when Mandisa, Nandipa and I co-founded Amoyo, we immediately, especially through my speech and drama, we immediately recognized that we need to help youth have a voice. We need to help them know their rights. We need to give them a different set of mindset tools. So everything that I do in the professional corporate space, I want the children of South Africa to know from a young age, my opinion matters, my thoughts matter. I don't have to agree with everything. I can disagree but still be respectful.
My first encounter with mom, when she was introduced as a CEO or someone that was going to be running Amoyo the show, I was like, oh, we're going to have umlungu.
I remember seeing you. I didn't know anybody well. I had been busy with the organization for 8 months, and I think there were 170 children. So I didn't necessarily know much about each child. But I did notice that the light had gone out in Busi's eyes. Something was not okay. And with the information that I was provided, all I knew was this girl is not going to pass matric. She's hardly going to school, and this is not okay.
Back then, I was staying in Khayelitsha, so that would be an hour with traffic in the morning. Yeah, because I would wake up at 5 a.m. Make sure that I catch a 6 a.m. bus to get to Hout Bay. And same thing again in the evening, and I'll have to actually miss my classes, some like late classes around 5, because I had to get a 5 o'clock bus to get to Khayelitsha. I think you called me or sent me a text asking me if I maybe fancy moving in for a week while your husband is away. And literally, I was ecstatic. I was so happy. At that moment, I told my biological mom that this is what just happened. And I'm leaving. I don't really care about your opinion, but I am leaving. When I moved in with mom and the family, everything changed drastically. I wasn't used to good nights. That is one thing I firstly noticed in the house. Good night, good morning, how was your day? That really changed my world. And oh my gosh, one thing, all the school lunches every morning, your mom making school lunch for you every day, every morning. It was, yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Before Busi, we'd had other children living with us who needed time out from their homes, being a registered place of safety. The relationship at first was very much that of you are here to... Of course, there was love and nurture, but it was very much you are here to get through matric. I did not have a deeper understanding of the true reality of Busi's life up until then. And our youngest daughter was 2, and our middle daughter was 9, 10 years old.
Something like that.
10. And Busi there was just an instant happiness within the home. My husband jumping in at the deep end, just embraced and was very gentle.
Yeah,
Very gentle. He's a man of few words, very gentle. And it just grew. It was very clear that after matric, after the exams, that was it. But I'll never forget the day. It was leading up to the exams, and Busi was just not okay. It was a really uncomfortable conversation because I knew, just as a mother, you can just see when a child is in distress. And I figured out that it was because what happens after the final exam. And it was incredibly difficult, largely because of Busi's upbringing, where you don't ask questions. What is going to happen to me? A lot of things had been unveiled during that time that was going to make it near nigh impossible for Busi to go to a suitable home environment. My husband and I remember this slightly differently. We were chatting about it last night, but he wasn't at home. I can't remember if he was away on business or just at the office, but I rang him up and I said, we have a problem. And I told him what was going on, and his words to me were along the lines of, our home is Busi's home for as long as she needs it to be. And I responded to the effect of, I feel the same way. And we need to see how Manon feels, the older daughter. And in that conversation, the word adoption popped up, but in the frame of forever daughter.
Yeah.
Can she be our forever daughter? If she wants us to be, can we be her forever family? And that was the end of the call. That was how we made this big life-changing decision. So I went upstairs.
Amazing.
And I spoke to Manon and I said, Manoni, I need to talk to you about something. You're very young, but you have to be part of this decision. And I'm sure Alan was away because otherwise we would have waited till he was home. And I said, Busi's not happy. This is why. And we feel that we need to offer her a place in our home. How do you feel about that? And Manon said, will she be my sister? And I said, theoretically. And she, how do you feel about that? And she said, as far as I'm concerned, Busi is my sister. And then I had to have a very practical conversation with her. You understand then, if we do this, there are going to be times when I say no to you because Busi has a need. So
Yeah.
I've got very factual with her. That means there's less money in the bank for everybody, so to say. That what we may normally spend on something now gets split between 3 children. So you have to understand the economics of having another pretty much adult child in the home. And she says, I don't care. We're not a very money-oriented family, but I had to have that conversation. I felt it was important for her to understand. And little Lotta has never known life without Busi. So that was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And they were like this. And so I went downstairs. And I said, would you like us to be your forever family?
And I said instantly, yes. Instantly, yes. Yeah. So I was so excited also to be around white people because I've never... Honestly, you have to understand, these are white people. They live differently from us. And as much as, yes, we do similar things in a way, but it was just so exciting. And also I was going to be speaking English every day. That was my worry. I was so worried about speaking English every day. And yeah, I think then later on, I just got used to it. It got to a point where I really didn't want it to live as well. I didn't enjoy where I was staying, and it was difficult to kind of like go back every weekend. There was no transport fare provided. The one weekend, actually, I was hesitant because I would leave on Fridays. One weekend, I was very hesitant of leaving, and I stayed. So mom asked, why are you not going home this weekend? And I was like, I don't have money to go home. She was like upset. Why? How? So she didn't, at that point, she didn't understand how is the situation at home. I'm like, no, because mom, biological mother, she doesn't have a taxi fare for me to go home. And she didn't, sort of like, because mom is a very practical person, she will go into deep thinking. But if you're staying here, you've been staying here for like how many months? Like it's been, let's say 3 months now. She should have kept money for you to come back on weekends. And at some point back then, I used to feel as if I think, yeah, I'm a burden because now I don't want to be here every Friday, and maybe they do want their space, like I'm overcrowding them. But as soon as we had the conversation and talk about it with the family, then they made me feel comfortable. I was like, okay. I could tell the excitement in her that I was staying with these people. She was not objective, like, oh, you're not going to do it. You're not staying there. She was just happy. And every time I would visit, actually, I would hear from the neighbors, oh, we've heard from your mom and stuff. So I did notice it was something that she was boasting about to other people.
The biological mother did not contact me once.
Yeah, and which was, yeah.
She didn't contact me once. She didn't make provision. It was not important to her for her to see Busi on the weekend. And I wasn't going to give that money. It wasn't about the money. It was the ethics that you're not having to look after your child. You're not having to pay the daily school fee. You're not having to provide a single thing. You should have enough pride and want to see your daughter in the weekend.
Yeah.
I think I saw her a year later.
Yes, I think you saw her a year later.
Yes, you had matriculated, but the very first time.
Yeah, because I had to literally beg her, can you just go see where I live, because you've never met these people. So imagine having to ask your mother for a whole year, can you please come and see them? Can you come and say thank you? Because I believe you need to say thank you at some point, or the first meet up when people take your child. You have to go and meet them and see the environment and see the people. So, which is something that was difficult for her. So I have 2 siblings, an older sister and a brother. Before the adoption, I did have a relationship with my older sister. But I think after the adoption, then it's sort of like separated. Everyone went their own way. And yeah, we don't really talk. But if we do see each other, which we don't do oftenly, we greet each other. We sort of like act as if we're people that know each other, but we're not sisters and a brother and a sister, anything like that. Not having a relationship with my family, because I feel like I'm a person that just moves on with life. I don't deal with things. I don't have time to deal with things. So not having a relationship with them, it doesn't affect me. The only relationship that hurt me was my biological mom, when we got to a point where we're not in talking terms. Yeah, because I feel like at some point, that's your maternal mom. You have that bond. It was very difficult to let go of that one. It was not, even today, I do still think about her. She's still in my heart in some way. Yeah, that is a very tough one to let go of. Yeah, I would say.
It wasn't all roses when Busi moved in, because I also had a responsibility to get her through matric. Suddenly there was a mother saying, off the couch, study.
A big adjustment.
A big adjustment. I had to also learn how Busi would respond to reactions, because, mothers are like, for goodness sakes, just get a move on. And, we're mothers.
Yeah.
And this wide-eyed girl, and I would say, just talk back to me. If you don't like what I'm doing, then tell me. It's just like, I can't.
What should I say?
And, the other 2 are chirping back at me. And there was this beautifully, overly respectful child. And that was actually a problem, because that's also not okay.
Yeah.
So it's been a beautiful journey, but it's always come from a place of complete love. I mean, we just fell in love with Busi. And we were road tripping somewhere, and we're a family that we have names for each other. And we said, Busi needs a name. And it just came, Busi the Precious. My husband and I weren't married. We've been together for years and years and years, but we decided we're going to get married for the children, for the girls. We wanted to show the girls how much we believe in our family, and it doesn't matter how we all came together. And so we had a beautiful wedding ceremony, but we did the husband-wife part. Then we asked Busi, do you accept us as your loving parents? And she said, yes, I do.
That was my highlight.
And then she asked us, do you accept me as your forever daughter? And we said, we do. And then she had to ask her sisters, and the sisters had to ask her. It was the marriage of a family. It was, we choose each other. We choose each other unconditionally. We accept each other unconditionally, for better, for worse, in sickness and in health.
That made it formal.
And that is, we don't need a judge or a piece of paper from Home Affairs to tell us that she's our daughter. We're not a traditionalist family, but we have our own family traditions that we make up as we go along. And that's what we did. And that was really important part of the wedding. It was important that we drew up our own family marriage certificates, and you've got your sister certificates, and we just did everything that we felt we could. Like I said, if I were in the position to challenge the law about adult adoptions, I understand why they have it because of trafficking and everything. But I do feel that we've got a long history of proving the authenticity of this.
I was so happy, and to me it was sort of like, yeah, now I have a family, now I can be a child, and as much as I'm going to be an older sister, but I can be a child. But the wedding was my highlight. Now I felt like, okay, yes, we didn't do paperwork, but being part of the wedding, and actually that was my first time attending a wedding that I was part of. So, and I was telling you all the time how excited I am for the wedding. It was so beautiful, signing those papers that I knew I'm part of the family forever. This is my mom, this is my dad, these are my sisters. I don't know what's going to happen in my life. Now we are a blended family. I'm Xhosa, obviously, and then now we have to merge these cultures together. Now I started thinking, if I get married, am I going to be loboled? What's going to happen to me? Okay, if I have kids, now I started thinking about English names. Oh, my children are going to have a Xhosa and an English name. Whoever is going to be my husband, you're going to need to understand that I come from this family, and the way I think, it's different. I've been influenced by different thoughts, different people.
My frustration and our frustration is because of Busi's age, South Africa doesn't allow adult adoptions. So in a legal framework, we haven't been able to do official adoption papers. If I was able to, if we were able to do it through the Hague Convention, if I had the money to do it, then we would have done a formal emancipation and a formal adult adoption because Busi was already 18 years old. So we've had to do it in every other sense of the word, and I'm very open about that. It is, the wills have been set up, the parental and support. What we do for one child, we do for another child, or what we do more for one child and less for the other child. It is just, we parent to the best of our ability.
The most challenging part about being adopted, and I've experienced this, let's say if we go out with the family or people seeing me with my family, they will assume that I'm the au pair or I work for the family. And we had an incident, and that was actually my first time starting to feel like I don't like how people are treating me. We were at a restaurant and it was Mom's birthday. We had ordered drinks. They were going to be under the same bill. I don't know if everyone had left or something. But then the waitress brought the bill when I ordered something and she put it aside. So I was like, why did you put my drink aside? I'm also part of the table. And she was like, oh, sorry, I didn't know. Sometimes, yes, people do say the meanest things. I think I'm better than this. I think you're better than us because you that. And I'm like, I'm not going to apologize for being loved by my family and my family doing things for me. I am grateful, and I've been taught to work for the things that I want in my life. And one girl actually said to me one time, she was just being mean. She shouted like, "Uchongo adopt apa." And I was like, okay, is that a bad thing that I'm adopted? And carried on saying, your mom abandoned you and stuff. So that did hurt, even though, but I'm a person that really shields myself. I don't like showing my feelings. Responded, you don't know my story. I know my story, and the people that are around me, they know my story. So I don't care what other people say. And that doesn't say what people think about me or my adoption process, how my life is. It doesn't hurt. It does. I have feelings like anybody else. Guys, I'm black. You can tell. If mom and dad, Lotta, Manon, everyone is sitting on the table, I'm the only black person. So if you don't know us, you don't know our story, you are going to think, or maybe this is an au pair. One incident, I was picking up Lotta from school, and someone said to Lotta, oh, Lotta, your au pair is here. She's like, no, that's not my au pair, that's my sister.
Some of it is ignorance, and some of it is presumption and assumption. And I think it's just a societal influence when people, of course, are not aware that she's our daughter. I will make it very clear in no uncertain terms that she is our daughter. And you can see people change their energy very quickly. And that just saddens me. But we have to use this platform and we have to use our story for positive influence. Just check your looks. It's not just this situation. Our youngest daughter is autistic. She can go out looking quite flamboyant, and she's proudly weird and quirky, and you can just see people forming an opinion. So it's not only just in our situation, it's across the board of just watch how you're looking at people, how you're making other people feel. But yes, it is disappointing when somebody might come to our home and presume that this is the au pair, the nanny, not that we've ever had, and I will come out and say, "Oh, I believe you've been talking to my daughter," and you can just see the change.
People asking me some weird questions. So what do you eat? I'm like, what do you mean? What do we eat? We eat food, guys. Some questions I see. So are you going to marry a white person? Do you know a lot? Do you have white friends? No, I wouldn't say I do have white friends, but I know a lot of white people. Do you go elokishini? I love going in elokishini because it's still part of me. I know who I am and I know where I come from. It doesn't mean because I got adopted and I just lost the sense of that. It's part of me and it will always be part of me. Yeah.
How do we protect each other? Fiercely. We love each other. We adore each other. We admire each other.
We do.
I have her back. She has my back.
Oh, if you say anything about my mom, yeah.
And likewise. That's why if I see somebody making assumptions or speaking to Busi, as we did have once in our neighborhood, I went straight to that person and I said, "I believe you were having a chat with my daughter." And he's like, "No, I don't think so." I said, "Oh, yes, you were." "Oh, she's your daughter." I'm like, "Yes." And then suddenly the whole conversation changed. I am just clear about the fact that nothing is going to be tolerated. And I will make the person realize that they needed to learn in that moment. And a lot of people have actually come back to me and said, "Thank you for your gentle way of making me realize about assumption." Busi and Manon will hold my hand in public. My daughters sit on my lap for cuddles. Sorry. And they will fight over holding my hand. But now it's got to the stage, because my daughters are adult, I'm like, I think people think we're a lesbian couple.
Even if we're at the shop, I need to be close to you. Walk next to me.
So I think I'm doing an okay job as a mum, because my kids love being close. Yeah. And so that's why it's always very prominent that Busi will say, "Mum," just to let people
know
that this is my mum. Yeah.
I question myself about my identity a lot. I do. Because I would say recently, my ancestors started coming forward, representing themselves. And it was a very difficult stage of journey to be in, because now when you are an African person, there's certain things that you need to do. I don't know if it's customs. Yes, there's things like that I have to do, which they were not done for me. So I actually had a conversation with Mom, thinking, how am I supposed to do this? If I have to do umqimbi, now I have to, because when you talk about ancestors, you have to go back home. Things that will be coming out from the ancestors, you need to go back home to the Eastern Cape. And sadly, I don't know where that home is for me, because I've never been introduced to it in that way. And sometimes my biological dad's side now started coming out as well. So those are the questions I struggle with all the time. I ask myself, and I do pasha and ask them, show me the way, because I don't know how to handle all of these things. And sometimes thinking back, how am I going to bring that conversations to my parents? And I think, yes, they will understand, but I think it's sort of like difficult. So those are the things I struggle with. Yeah. And it's very difficult to have idlozi because now you have to explain these things, and there needs to be someone who's going to explain to them. My English will go like out of the door. Like, how am I going to articulate myself? Uba idlozi wants this, or all these things. If I'm going to Eastern Cape, am I going to be taking you guys? Where are we going to stay? Yeah, I don't have a formula, so I'm just trying to figure out life.
Culture is very important to me personally. And because I've grown up in different countries and I'm a mixed breed, Dutch and South African, part of the work I do at Amoyo with all my clients is let's look subjectively at our cultures, because every culture has positives and negatives. And we're very hardworking, so part of our family culture is you are not entitled to anything. Yes, of course, we are able to provide X, Y, and Z, but you can't just expect that. And that doesn't happen without the ethos behind it. So, we really drive our family culture. We encourage Busi to think subjectively. We've got to be able to reflect constructively about where culture plays a role, where people want it to play a role, but it shouldn't because it is detrimental. And also that we are so open. And it actually took a while for me to realize, my goodness, actually, we've been steamrolling ahead with this is the way we do things and slot yourself into our family. And it was actually a couple of years had gone by when I said, Bus, if you want us to cook something different, if you want to cook something, why aren't you doing it? And that's where Busi was very held back. That I felt that she didn't want to impose on us. And that took a real couple of years for Busi to sink in. And now the question is whatever you feel, I know that I've been accepted by, or we have been accepted by the ancestors. We've gone through a ritual where that I am now officially recognized as Busi's mum. And so as far as all the rituals are, we're not there to prescribe anything. We are there to say, tell us what you need, how can we support you, and do you want us to be involved?
A lot has happened in my life, but I've never let it define who I am. I move with life. I don't dwell on negative things. Tomorrow you hurt me, I wake up, I continue with life. That's me. I'm easy like that. An advice I would give to people that are scared to share their stories is just do it, because you don't know who it will help along the way. And there's a lot of us that need love out there. There is a lot of us that need love. Yeah.
I want people to know that we are all human and we don't have to be defined by our backgrounds or our negative experiences. We can be defined by negative and positive experiences, and we can use that information, and that everybody has the power to literally design their own lives if they're prepared to put themselves forward for what it is that they want. We want to advocate for older child fostering and older child adoption. I have encouraged and helped influence people to look into older child adoption because of our story. There are a lot of people who have put their career first and then mid-40s suddenly realize, oh, I want a child, but don't realize that there are many older children living in children's homes, living in orphanages. As long as there are children needing more love, more care, it doesn't matter what age they are.